Hi, everyone. Hi. Can you see the title of the chat? Hey. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Mike. So, pretty soon I'm going to have Bryn, the Mousy Mouse? The Mossy Muse, sorry. Hi, CJ. Hey, Jackie. We're going to be talking about Bhakta. Can you guys hear me? Cheers. Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I'm also doing, this is my first time using like the headphones
Yeah,
for,
I need to get a pair. It make it so much easier.
yeah, no, I love it. Absolutely. I love the hair. Let me
Thank
see.
you.
Oh my
But
God.
telling you, today's just been a rush. I think I've done
Yeah.
nothing but run.
Oh, really? I'm
Yes, so I
so,
was like,
thank you so much for making it on then. I feel so bad. You could have told me.
no,
You could
no, I've
have.
been looking forward to it all night, all night.
Aw, me too, me too. Oh, so thank you. So for those of you, can you see the title that I have of this for this chat or well, I'll
No,
check out. Yeah, I tried work. It's my first time to have like this option where you put the title in to discuss, hey, Bhakta team. So the Bhakta team joined too. I give them a heads up that we're doing this and I'm so excited. So just really quickly, Bryn, who is, how do you say your screen name, your handle?
Mossy Muse.
The Mossy Muse. Sorry, I always
Mossy
get a little
Muse,
bit.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's an ode to my Irish ancestry.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. So we're gonna discuss Bhakta 50. We're gonna go a little bit deeper into it in a few minutes with a few questions that Bryn has for me, and also I'll add in my own feedback as well. But Bryn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a whiskey enthusiast. I'm very passionate about Scotch, but I'm very passionate about Irish whiskey. Thanks to you, now Indian whiskey. My,
You're welcome.
I know, I'm like, now I'm addicted. I told my hairdresser all about it today, so I've got to give her a sample because she's all excited.
That's awesome.
I just love distilled spirits, but I love distilled spirits for their quality and their flavor. And growing up, it was always a man's world or a man's drink. And I don't like the stereotype. I think it's for everybody and for anybody, and anybody can
Absolutely.
appreciate it, anybody can love it. So my goal is just kind of to expand it out there and break those barriers and get people to see that it's more than just, hey, let's grab a bottle and get drunk. No, there's really quality in this. It's an art form.
Absolutely. I could agree more. And do you have a favorite type of, I guess, expression, or do you like more Scotch more than Irish, or just equally? How does it work for you?
It's more dependent upon where I'm at, who I'm with, and what the evening or the day calls for. Like right now, I'm really enjoying Irish whiskeys finished in cognac cask.
Hmm.
I love the Madeira cask. I love the Madeira cask. When I was in Scotland or in Ireland, I could not get enough of the Kilbeggan 21 year.
Ooh,
Brought home
nice.
3 bottles, ordered more. Can't find it anywhere now.
Did you finish them all?
Oh yes, oh yes, those were my
Oh
go-to. I like the stories too. I like the connection and meeting people. Like I really love the Tullamore Dew warehouse release that they have,
no.
and I
Okay.
think that has a lot to do with the connection, which is one of the reasons I like Bhakta. I love the
Hmm.
story. I love the connection,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
I am not a brandy or cognac drinker, but I love it. Bought one of each, and it just bridges over. So it pulls me over from Scotch, and I was just like, all right, this one I like. I can drink this one.
And is that besides before we deep dive into Bacta, is that kind of how did you get into drinking whiskey? and become, because you really do have a lot of knowledge about whiskey, and I'm always surprised of your reviews and all the comments that you make and how detailed you are.
I think it started when I was living in Tennessee, living in Nashville. I lived there for
Really,
13
Tennessee.
years. Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously not very far from Jack Daniels. I started with Gentleman Jack. I kind of skipped over the others and just started progressing from there. Friends introducing me to different ones. And I really started enjoying the flavor profiles and the complexities. It was kind of like red wine for me. It was just so intense and complexity, and you could sit there and you could just ponder it, and you could hold it for a little while, and you go back to it, and it was different than the first time or the second. So it just started drawing me in. And when I used to go visit Jack Daniels, I loved, there's just something so peaceful about that area, and it's so beautiful. And then the people, seeing it pull so many people together from so many different areas and so many different regions and cultures, I loved it. I loved that about it. So I was hooked.
You know, your story kind of reminds me of one of the reasons why I choose whiskey and like the whiskey community so much, over wine, let's say. And it's just the people behind it and the stories. And I think, actually, fun fact is, you're probably one of my closest now whiskey women, but we've actually never met in person, and we live super close, like 40 minutes max away. Like, you know, and that's normal in South Florida. That's close. So, I mean, it's kind of ironic, but you know, it's pandemic and everything, so hopefully we'll meet afterwards.
Yes, I'm gonna have a whiskey party.
Yes, whiskey party and Bhakta party.
Exactly. Hopefully by then, yeah, my bottle will be here, and I can like just torment everybody.
Both bottles will be there.
I'm
So,
so excited.
one of the things you said, which I loved, was the story behind Bhakta. And for those of you who have maybe not heard me talking about it often and sharing it, is Bhakta has a great story. So Bhakta 50 is Raj Bhakta. I love that tail.
This is Single Malt Cat. She likes to pop up everywhere. If there's a camera, she's gonna get on it.
That's so cute. Maybe just give her a little sip.
She tries. So much. She just tries.
That's
I'm like
awesome.
constantly moving the glass. I'm like, no, not for kitty.
My dog, she actually does like a little bit of beer, not whiskey. I've actually like given her like a sample. But so Bhakta 50 is Raj Bhakta's quest for the rarest spirit in the world. And who is Raj Bhakta? Well, he's the creator of my favorite rye, and probably the most like luxurious rye in American history is Whistle Pig.
Yes.
So I actually didn't, you know, once I found out about the project, I really hadn't researched enough on WhistlePig to connect the fact that Raj Bhakta was a founder of WhistlePig. So when I was contacted to join in, I definitely was excited about it, because I thought that it was very fitting. But going back to Bhakta 15, it's literally a combination of 8 different vintage Armagnacs. The oldest liquid in this bottle is 152 years old, and the youngest, and the youngest is 15. So that's why it's called Bhakta 15. I really can't express how different this is, and I don't want to jump over to the questions you have, but hopefully soon we'll all be able to tell why it can't be categorized in a specific type of spirit. So the fact that we're whiskey drinkers enjoying this is aligned with what Raj and the Bhakta 50 is, the goal of it. So
Sorry. Cat.
No, the more cat. She can join it. It's a boy or a girl?
It's a girl, and
That's
she's like, as soon as the camera turned on and she heard it, she came charging in, and she's like, my turn.
Wait, I have Ginger. She's a little dirty. I need to bathe her. She's there. she's she's
Oh,
she's she's there making sure that everything goes well.
that's what she's doing. She's at my feet. She's like, pay attention, mom.
Exactly, like supervising. So I was able to send Bryn a sample of Bhakta 50. She was so far has been the only one that I've been able to share a sample with. I think I just was able to get Drew a sample today also because he knew that, that we were doing this. He was like, I want in. Give me a sample. What does Bryn get it? He was so I was able to get that. Drew is my counterpart in the whiskey event planning. So I sent it over. Really never didn't plan on having this live conversation. Just more of like, look, I know it's gonna take a while for you to get your bottles. Let me just get, send you something because I know you're really eager to taste it, and you committed to something.
Loved it. Right? So I hid it away from my husband. I was just like, no, it's mine. I'm being greedy.
I know. I feel so bad. And you bought it for him as your anniversary.
Our anniversary
right?
present. Yeah, we have our 7-year wedding anniversary is August 31st, and I was like, oh, this will be amazing. This will be great. And then I got the sample, and I was like, I don't want to give it to him. I want to keep it for myself. I was like, oh God, I have to share.
So what's great is that you bought a barrel of each because each one is going to be differ from each other. And we'll talk about that when we get to the questions. But, I'm just glad that I was able to send it to you because I'm really, really terrible at like articulating tasting notes. So for me, it's hard. For me, I just taste really good or not so good. That's how I categorize things. I like it or I don't. But you go into in depth of different, way more complex than I can. That's why I wanted to make sure that you were on here because you could do more justice than I can.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing though. It's so amazing. And every taste I've had of the sample, and this is the last of it, but every taste of it has been different, like every time. And I've learned that when you first open it and nose it, the cask really jumps. And it's just there, and it's just reaching, and it's grabbing, and it's literally like it grabs you by your collar and pulls you in, and you're just like, wow.
Absolutely.
And it's such a sensory experience.
Yeah, definitely.
And
oh my God, I love that you say that. Now you're describing, like, you're right. I can definitely nose the woodiness. And
yeah.
Sorry?
Once you let it breathe for just a little while, and then you start getting these orange notes that it's almost like somebody took cardamom and rolled it in orange, it's a weird description, but that's what you get on that. Once it gets past the wood, that's what's coming to your nose, and you're just like, oh.
I love you right now. Yes. For me, it was more like I just got stuck when I nosed it. Like to me, it's delicious. It got stuck in like kind of like an orange liqueur smell, but when you added that cardamom, definitely. Yeah.
It reaches out, and like my second tasting of it, I remember thinking, wow, this reminds me of the nutmeg that you can get in some Christmas cakes. And some of them, the nutmeg is more forward.
Oh my God. I like, honestly, when you're telling me this, yes.
And it comes up there and it just grabs you. And the spices, it's not like it's not one of those overpowering spices. It's just so subtle and just kind of just meanders right up there after everything else. It's like, hi.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. It is such a beautiful little dance just on your nose, and that's not even getting to your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it just by nosing and even by looking at it, like look at this color, you can tell how exquisite it is.
It's beautiful.
For me, it's definitely you can tell it's a luxury spirit by looking at it, by nosing it, and not even going to the taste yet. So do you want to go for the next sip? Cheers.
Yeah. I do. Cheers. I want to say one thing about the color.
Yeah.
Don't let that fool you. It's not going to be as thick on your mouthfeel as you think. That was what shocked me because I saw the color and I was like, oh God, that's going to be syrupy.
Yeah, no.
It's not.
It's not.
Oh,
it's very light refreshing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So the one thing that I wanted to do, which I didn't have, I got really busy at work, so I wanted to chill the bottle because I was reading the tasting notes that they, or how the proper way to have it on the rock or chilled. I think, especially since I'm outside now, man, I'm really regretting not having chilled it.
I know. I wanted to, but I just kept looking at it and I was like, I really like you how you are. And my house is really
Yes.
cold. Like we keep our thermostat between 69 and 73. It's
Oh wow,
always,
that's
yeah,
like us. Yeah.
yeah, it's always cold in our house. So I don't ever
Yeah.
think about chilling it because I'm like, no, I need something warm because it's cold.
Yeah, like room temperature.
Yeah,
It's like normal.
I'm like,
But
please, come
also,
in, warm me up.
you made an interesting point is because I think also because we are normally neat whiskey drinkers, at least for me, I mean, I'm normally prefer my whiskey neat. This to me doesn't need to be chilled because it tastes already refreshing. You know,
Right.
yeah.
It's so it that's what I mean when like I say it's not syrupy. It's so refreshing to your palate
Hmm.
that it's like it goes in there and it just kind of wakes it up and just gently massages it awake, and it's got just this slight roll of spice that goes around, and then it just slides down, and it's amazing. Like I find myself every time closing my eyes and just relishing it. And I can't say that about most of my scotches because a lot of my scotches are cask strength
Yeah.
because I tend to buy them that way. But this one, this could convert me. This really could.
I think that the goal of Bhakta 50 was to appeal to traditional whiskey and scotch drinkers. And I
Mm-hmm.
think mission accomplished in that sense. I think they'll make a believer out of people who think, oh, I only like whiskey. And if you're looking to explore different spirits, I think this is a great approach, and I really applaud him. I honestly, how do you? Because I love the story so much. I was worried that. Are you laughing? Is there a cat?
My husband, I'm laughing at my husband. He's on
Oh,
watching. He's
that's
trying to
awesome.
get the Bhakta.
You're so cute. Don't let him try to take that away from you. Don't worry, I'll get him
No,
another
it's
sample.
mine. It's my little precious.
So cute. So I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, I'm excited. What I was saying is that I was so in love with the story and meeting the team and everything that, you know, I wanted to make sure that the product, was able to back it up. And to me, it exceeds it. It exceeds it a lot. I'm really happy that you like it. Honestly, I'm really grateful. Like I said, my intention of sending you over the sample was not even to have this conversation, just like appreciating you and the fact that you enjoy it and are able to describe it way better than me. I'm over the moon. I,
I
I,
could, I'm telling you, I could get lost in poetry talking about this because it really is poetry. What does
yeah.
he say? What do you think of
So
the
value proposition of getting a minimum 50-year age for the fraction of Scotch pricing. I think that for me, I'll chime in first, and then so I think it's a great value proposition. I think the main goal of right now this first wave of barrels that are going out of bottles is really getting the word out there, and Raj wants to be able to get exposed as much exposure and also give people access to something that normally in a scotch, if it was a scotch price, it would be 10 times more expensive. So I think that's one of the reasons why I think it's a great value, and don't be deterred by that. I think that if we're able to get it at this price right now, grab it if you can. There's very limited, but I'm definitely building my collection just because it's one of those just products that will appreciate in value. So that's just my take on it. What do you think, Bryn?
I think that for the value, personally, and I hesitate to say this, but I honestly think he priced it too low for the quality of the product. At first, I was skeptical, but then I got used to it. I was like, this is only how much? It's like, what? Yeah, you don't see this, buy another bottle. I was like,
I got excited. Yeah, I definitely think that. How do you like the way it's like? I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna make myself sound really girly girl. I really like a good quality purse that you can get like the best product for like not the most expensive luxury price, but yet it's still a luxury item. And then all of a sudden, everybody gets a word of it, and that purse goes up in like goes up so much, and like you're like, what happened? I can't even afford to buy a second one. So I think that for me, having this bottle for $250 for something that probably worth in the thousands if it was a Scotch is
Right.
a good way of, like I said, getting a lot more audience, so that the next set is going to be a little bit harder to acquire. And it's gonna be a little bit, probably, it's not going to be, I know for a fact the prices are going to go up soon.
Well, I would also say that, so it's a double-edged sword because it is so good and it's going to be in demand. But then for Raj, that's going to set the bar. He has set that bar really, really high. And he can't just say that he's targeting one specific audience.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, this spirit is so much of a crossover. So if you're only a brandy drinker or an Armagnac or cognac, if you're very specific, or you're just the category, you're going to drink this, but then it's going to make you gravitate to other scotches. It's going to make you think about, well, if he made this, and then a while back he made that, well, maybe I should go try that. You know, and it's the same. For me, we have, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, we have a few back there. And
you have a nice wall. I just want to, when I go visit you, that's the only room I'm interested in.
I know, everybody just wants to see the wall. Nobody cares about anything else. And I was laughing because it was like, I kept walking by it and I was like, I really want to drink you again. And I got a huge selection. And the only thing in my collection that I think even came close on a Scotch level is that Glenmorangie 1991 back there.
Wow.
That's the only one I've got that I think comes close to what he produced.
Yeah.
And so you think about the price point.
Absolutely.
That, almost $1,000.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this, but the value, so the value proposition on it, it's like, wow. Just wow, the quality that you're getting for the price point that you're at.
No,
and I know
absolutely.
there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, well, that's really high. Actually, no, when you look at it, it's really low. It's really low.
No, I agree. That's one of the things people really, I think that who this is also, besides just whiskey drinkers, who this appeals to, people who know the value of a good aged spirit and realize and connect it. So yeah, if you're just looking at the price and saying, oh, it's a new product that I've never heard about before, without actually digging deeper into what's inside this bottle, then you may not be interested in me. But maybe that's not the audience that we want. Then, you know, we want people who are savvy, who will appreciate it, will drink it, but also will, you know, be in awe of having it. Yeah. So I just want, before we go into, because I want to get to our questions, because you sent some, like, I got so excited when I saw your questions. I hope I can I can answer them, do them justice. So just wanted to make a quick comment that Lauren, I think, who's still on here, I hope yesterday they told me that she won the signed bottle of like the giveaway. Yeah, she's so like that's the same thing.
Oh my god!
So when they told
I'm so
me,
jealous.
I know. When they told me, I was like, oh my god, I feel like I won too. Hi Lauren, I'm so excited for you to try this. And she also got another bottle. And Drew, you're gonna love it. So Drew, I just got Drew a sample barrel one today. So I don't know if he's sipping it or if he's still at work, but I hope you're enjoying it. Hey Shay. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxiously stalking both of my bottles.
Has Vince tried it at all?
I let him have just a little.
You let him look at it?
I was like, sniff this. I was like, you have just a little taste. I was like, because you can't have it all. Because he would drink the whole thing. I was like, I need that.
I'm so lucky that I was so lucky that you actually saved some. I'm impressed. I was getting ready to ask. I always joke around Uber Drew my messenger to pick up things. I don't leave my house, so he just picks things up and takes it to somebody else. So yeah. So you want to jump into the questions because I'm really excited because I think they're really informative.
Yes, I was really, really curious about some of the things that
Yeah.
I actually couldn't find on the website. I was surprised because
Yeah.
I'm not a stalker, I promise, but I have everything that Raj has put out about this and everything that the whole Bhakta team has put out. I've read or I've watched, but I had a couple of questions about. I think I'm going to start with this one. How does the blending process for Bhakta compare to the blending process for Scotch? Because I was
So
reading on there them talking about it, and I was wondering.
So I think the main thing, and it's actually probably the answer's right in front of us, is that it's fruit versus grain. So fruit, wine based, anything is it's a lot more complex and a lot more, I guess, fickle to get consistency. So whereas, we always hear, I don't know how much you know about wines. I'm sure I feel like you probably like, you have a wide knowledge. I don't know that much, but I know enough.
There's a whole wine corner that nobody ever sees.
You have it like hidden there in the
Yeah,
dark.
it's tucked over to the side. It never makes it into the videos or anything. And I drive people crazy when I buy wine because I'm very, very specific about certain profiles. South African wines are my favorite, my absolute
Me
favorite.
too. I love South African wines. Oh, and they're so difficult to get, at least in local
Down
stores
here,
here.
down
Yeah.
here, they are. But I have found a couple of places up north. There was a little bitty wine store that I used to go to that I would buy cases, and I'm trying to get them to ship to me down here.
Oh my God, sorry, a piece of flour just fell on me or something.
That's totally okay. I'm also trying to get the guys at Prime Cigar because Shia gifted me a wine bottle, and I informed him he had to order me a case of it now because it was that good.
Oh man.
So he's trying to get it for me.
I love Shia. He's so nice. He's so knowledgeable too. Prime Cigar in Miami is the best cigar bar, lounge, sorry, in cigar and whiskey lounge in
Yes,
Miami.
there was cigars just like you walk in, you're just
They're,
like,
yeah, it's pretty cool. So going back to the process, it's more complex. It's harder to have that consistency with fruit. So when you do get a good harvest blend, a good, you're really lucky in that sense. You feel like, wow, it's great. So it's a lot tougher. The process is a lot more complicated. Whereas in like the different variables, like the time, the temperature, the season, it just all these variables play into blending versus with rye and other grained whiskeys. It's just a lot easier to have that year-long consistency. So that's the main difference. So it's like I said, it's like the answer's like right there. It's the base.
I often wondered because I've watched different documentaries about master blenders and the nosings that they have to go through and finding that consistency. And I'm wondering how difficult that is going to be for Raj and the Bhakta team once they get through this first round of special barrels. How difficult does he foresee the next round being to live up to this level of quality that he's created?
So when you say next round, like let's say barrel number like 3, is that what you're trying to say, or after he gets over, like, because he only has right now 38
After
barrels,
he gets
right?
through those 38 barrels, what is
You know,
like? How is he going
so I can't disclose too much. I do know that there's future, options, I guess. There's going to be so much going on. I'm assuming, I can bet money on it that after 38, that won't be the end. But I think what his main goal is, and this is really his biggest project, one of his biggest projects yet, is that he just wants to focus on these 38 the most, first. And it's gonna, it's gonna take some time, and it's about getting the right. It's not about. It's like you want to do it quickly, but not too quickly that you depreciate the value of this, and also don't take the time and, you know, developing each barrel correctly, because each one of them has their own, is going to have their own special story.
So that leads me into the next question that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Isla cask? And is he going to stick with those?
Hold on for
Uh-oh.
a second. Yeah, she's there. My little baby. I love my queen. Sorry, I know this. We're like ADD. We're like ADD here. Like,
You know what? That's okay. We're women who love whiskey and our kitties, and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yes,
That might be
we
the
love
next.
our kitties.
Yeah. So, why Isla cast? So pretty much, I think that, and when I tell you, I'm gonna disclose. I just the source of the cast. We're just gonna, you know, mind blowing you a little bit more. Is pretty much, it's just the favorite, the one that created the best flavor. It was, they thought that, and I think that if when you taste this, you taste that smokiness in the back end, and
Mm-hmm.
it stays there, and it's really surprising. I think that I applaud them in the sense of choosing that, because I think it probably made this more interesting for me, and probably for a lot of true Scotch drinkers. And even for those who don't like the peatiness, it's not overly peaty. It's just, it's only been finished there for 2 weeks, so it has that subtle, just enough that you can tell. So it's, they're actually, and how many people are watching? They're Bunnahabhain cast. So which is interesting.
It tells you a lot because they went to that trouble to get that smokiness in there, but it's so subtle, and like you said, it's on the back end.
Yeah.
So it just kind of creates you into, it brings you into this chill mode that you just weren't anticipating.
Yeah.
Because it's just there, but it's not one of those things that, like, when you're drinking a Scotch where, you know, you get the really full flavor of Isla. It's just like this little twinge in the back of your throat that says, hey, I was here. And you're sitting there and you're just like, did I taste that?
You sure did.
And so then you take the next one and you're like, it is there. It is there. It's like it's riding a little wave back there, hanging out. It's so nice.
One of my favorite ways when people started asking me, and before I really had your, I'm jotting down mental notes of your tasting notes, because I might have to use them. Because my way of describing Bhakta 50 was, if like wine and Scotch had a fruit baby, like a very subtle fruit baby,
Yes.
this is it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's what you think about, like, if you actually got a, you know, and without being that overbearing grape or fruit taste, it's just, it's definitely a different experience, I would say.
It is, because it's not what you expect. Like, we have some good cognacs here, and some good Armagnacs. And but to me, they're almost too sweet and almost too fruit forward. And I know that for a lot of people, they struggle on the Scotch side because it's either too peated, too heavily smoked for them, or it's just too much of the acidity that comes to the front of the tongue and it prickles it. This I find to be such a balance of it's there's a sweetness, it's just there on the tip of your tongue, and it's almost like an apricot rolling around. If you've ever had a plump, juicy apricot.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of rolls, and it's like, no, not really. And then you feel like you're getting this old bookstore leather, and it's just kind of there, and then it just slides down, and you're left with feeling like you got this orange spice cake.
You just gave me goosebumps. Leather. Yes. 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 Spot on. Yes, that one. The apricot, maybe I haven't visited an apricot in a long time. I need to, but the leather, yes, for sure. Definitely.
Get a really ripe apricot, not overly ripe, but just ripe enough. And it's when you're biting into it and you're getting it just a little bit close to the pit, but not all the way there. So there's just this line in it, and you're just like,
I have to focus on where I bite it too. Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
You're like, I can find that. That's really
I didn't know this. I want to really quickly, I want to do like, I want to just really quickly switch over. There's some people who ask questions. So what is so so do you know if finishing a Scotch barrel finishing? No, it's not. It's not common.
No, it's not.
That's
You don't
why
typically do that.
I don't think you're not allowed. I think I forgot what the legal
Yeah,
you know
I don't think you.
things. I don't think you're not supposed to.
I think there's a restriction on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My husband could totally correct me on that, and he could tell me because he's
Tell him
like,
to Google it. Or maybe he already knows, and I'm like underestimating his abilities. So yeah, so going back to your question, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss them. There's one more that I'll save to the end.
okay. So, so one of the things I was curious about was like, I know Raj said this is like his final love letter to Scotch, but was he really intending for it to, what's the right words here? Was he intending for his final love letter to be so bold to the Scotch drinker that it converts them over to cognac drinkers or brandy drinkers? Is he trying to lure them away?
Like a big haha, I'm just gonna make sure I take ownership of all the whiskey drinkers. Come over. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. That's something I would definitely ask him in my next conversation with him. You made a good point. I think bold is what he does. So it's so maybe that it was intentional or unintentional, but it's definitely something that he's achieving. It's just gonna be interesting to see where it goes and how see more people's feedback on it.
Yes, because I personally I can see this drawing a lot of people in to the brandy, even though I hesitate to say that because to me it's its own. It really should be its own spirit because it's so.
Let me stop you right there because I know you have this. That's the 100% the goal of Bhakta. It's not even Bhakta 50. It's just, he wants to it's just a Bhakta category. That's pretty much what the goal of it is, and it's interesting because when we talk about it's Armagnac, it's a blend of 8 Armagnac vintages, but the way that it's been finished and the process it's gone into, it's not traditional. It can't be legally called an Armagnac, and it's far more complex than just a brandy.
Right.
So, and the perfectly finished Isla cast really has a component of Scotch. So, when I say I don't want to call it Bhakta spirit category. It's just there's gonna be I think that's the goal of these it's just experimenting and trying to break that norm.
That's what I was wondering because it's just so sitting with it and nosing on it and just spending time with it. I feel like it is so outside of those traditional spirits and traditional categories that it just seems wrong to put it in there with them because it is just so unique. And then I will say what he did with the bottle design, mind blowing. I mean, come on. You look at it and all you can think is the Great Gatsby. I mean,
that's
seriously.
Exactly. 100%.
And at the same time, I think Miami, because there's so much architecture in Miami that looks like that.
Yeah, the Art Deco lines, the font, just everything. And I'm a big, so I think also maybe you too, because your name starts with a B. I really I love the B symbol. So the fact that this has a B in it just really jumped out at me. So, I'm sorry, you guys. My nails are terrible. I haven't done them.
Don't worry about it.
So and before I even tried it, I fell in love with the detail of taking into it. And kind of a cool thing, just a little bit extra is an extra fact is these are made from the Bhakta farm. So when you smell them, they're handmade. They're just They're just all there. It's like the level of detail that goes into this packaging
Wow.
is really great. Which I appreciate because I'm a sucker for a good packaging design.
I am too. I love it when the packaging tells the story and
Yeah.
connects with everything. And with the whole Bhakta as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
there's no detail left
Mm-mm.
that wasn't examined to the nth degree as what it comes across as. You can tell the love that was put into it, the effort that was put into it by the Bhakta team. And for me, I feel like a lot of brands have slipped away from that to
Mm-hmm.
where they're just so focused on the bigger scheme that they lose the details.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much love and draw in that detail that it makes you want to have it, even if when it's empty, you're still going to have that bottle and you're still
Yeah.
going to have it there. You know,
100%. Yeah. I'm not getting rid of this, even though honestly, what's funny is I didn't know it was a barrel one when I opened it. Like it's kind of that's the one that's hard to find. I thought that it was a barrel two, and I was opening it because I wanted to send you that sample. So then I saw the book. I'm like, oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to get my hands on another barrel one again. But I feel like I'm such a nerd. But but no, I'm definitely not going to ever, even if it was empty, I'm not going to toss away this bottle because you can tell. Even the back has this, like an engraving of his signature, like there. Um, super nice. I mean, even if you're just somebody who wants to look at something pretty.
I mean,
But
you
yeah,
look at it and you can
yeah,
sit there, and there's something about it to me that even when it's empty, you can have it on that shelf and you can romanticize about it.
yeah.
And you can stick, for me, like, this is how far my brain has already gone. So when my bottle gets empty, I will be using it as a base for a single rose, to hold a single rose on my desk.
Oh my
Just
God.
because, I mean, like, I've gone that far in my mind with these bottles already.
It's funny you say that because I haven't gone far to think about like what I'll do once it's finished, but I'm able to visualize what I will be doing. Like like what you said about, I think of myself like, even though I'm home, I pretend like I'm in a 1920s party. Like for some reason, the setting is it's underground, it's top secret. We're wearing our cute speakeasy style. Yes, like only the chicest, the coolest people are going inside, and I'm grabbing and walking to the bar and asking for Bhakta in my cute attire, my 1920s attire. So Lauren, Bryn, and I, and whoever gets the bottle, we're gonna have to do a Bhakta 1920s virtual tasting.
Yes, we will. And we will be full head to toe in it because, I mean, it's that kind of feeling you
Yeah,
get when you're sitting down with it and you're drinking it and you're just like, oh, it just invokes all of those romantic notions and just that era and the mystique that goes with it that we of our generation have with that.
yeah,
You know, we're all drawn to it because it just seems so vivacious and vibrant, and life was just so much bolder.
yeah.
And
Not like
when you
these
taste
roaring
it,
20s
yeah,
right now. Not like these roaring 20s.
definitely not like the roaring twenties right now.
Like the good roaring 20s.
I know. I saw the Bhakta commercial ad, if you will, that they did in the barn, and I was like, oh, he so missed an opportunity. He should have made that totally a flapper party and dressed up like the Great Gatsby. I was like, he
So,
missed it.
there was jumping back into one of the questions you sent over. There was a purpose of that theme, because you know how you asked about why I call it revivalist. So it's
Yeah.
about like I think it was just about being American and the American revival, and that's the whole goal of that concept. And that's the whole goal of the barrel too. Why it's called revivalist. It's just getting back to building things up again. And he literally wrote the booklet like the first week or the first few days of the start of the pandemic. So he was like, probably like, imagine like starting a company and like be like, well, I'm gonna launch a product, but I'm gonna write a really
Oh my
great. I'm gonna make sure it works, and I'm gonna make it like the biggest, the most different spirit ever. So uh, I can only imagine that's one of the reasons why he wanted to call it revival, and that's the whole theme of what you see in that. Because I know it can be a little bit confusing, but it was done on July 4th. It was the whole like USA, America, bringing back the economy, revival focus.
Yeah. I feel like he's almost making that call to something inside all of us that says, you know, hey, when our country was founded, this is how we were. This is how we were doing things. You know, we were farmers and we were explorers, and we weren't locked behind a desk all day. It's like
Yeah.
you need to reconnect with those things. And it really does. It really kind of draws you into that of you're looking at it and you're reading all the information and you're like, you know, let me go plant a garden or let me go out in nature and reconnect and really appreciate where we are as people
Absolutely.
and where we have come. And it's just amazing in that.
I know, I agree. And it's been a good time to reflect on that right now, you know? And I think that's a good opportunity. I think it's great that you did that. Gosh, it's just so much to learn like during this time.
It really makes you think about where you are in your life and what do you, it's like that statement you shared about your hobbies or your passions.
Hmm.
And it really makes you stop and reflect on this because you're not caught up in that, you know, every day I got to commute
Yeah.
to work and
Yeah.
that hamster wheel
Hmm.
because it broke that mold. So
Yeah.
where we choose to go from here is going to be so different from where we were 6 months ago. And
Yeah.
his time was perfect with that because
I
it
love that
really
you said
does.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
it almost feels like it is perfect in a way. It's if you're gonna do something and stand out and it's gonna be challenging but also different, why not choose this time to do it?
exactly. Be brave, be bold, do
Yeah.
it, and
It's like
try it.
it takes guts. It takes a lot of courage to do that and also makes a statement.
Yeah, it really does. And it's honestly, I see it as an encouragement for other people to just take that leap
Hmm.
and to move forward and see, well, if he can do this from everything that he's come from, I can do it too. You know,
Yeah.
it's an encouragement. And I don't think he realizes that, but I really hope he does.
You
That
know what?
his journey and his choices are an
Mhm.
encouragement for other people to be that brave.
If he doesn't, I'll make sure I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna give him feedback of that you're giving for sure. If he doesn't take the time to watch this, I'm gonna give him like the highlights. But yeah, but no, that's awesome. That's very true. And you know, it's that's one of the reasons why I felt really excited and honored to be part of the team. This is my first time ever partnering up with any spirits company, you know, like this in this form. This is, you know, I'm definitely not in the industry. I've never, like, I kept joking around with the other teams. I've never sold anything in my life. So it's like, I'm like, what's going on? You know, like, I just love drinking and sharing what I drink and teaching people. So the fact that this was, the project that, that I joined and decided to do it was really, I think, a really great time to do it. Like you said, I right now have the time to do it. I'm not commuting. I'm not, you know, there's a lot of things to be stressed about, but luckily that day to day, you know, getting busy in your own life isn't right now. I can focus on my hobbies, my projects, the things I'm passionate about, and this is definitely one of them as well. And uh, partnering up with the Bhakta team has been a really big learning experience and also a great opportunity. So I think and it's a great product. So I'm excited.
It is definitely a great product. Now, I do
Yeah.
have one other question.
Yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the other barrel is named Hogsworth?
So #1, the one that you're trying right now is Hogsworth.
Yes.
So that's kind of like an homage and ode to when Raj was, or well, Raj is kind of like saying like a farewell to Whistle Pig.
Okay, because I'm a Harry Potter fan, and the first thing I thought of was Harry Potter.
I did too. I did too for a second, but no, yeah, it's. So I don't know really if like he loves. I don't know if he's a big Harry Potter fan. Back to Brandy, I don't know if you want to comment on that, but it's more of like it was just more of he wanted to pay, say a farewell, respect, and just kind of like that, just an homage to that. I think it's really fitting that it's not only like a closed ending, but also opening to something.
Right.
Yeah.
That is really good. I mean, it is like it's a love letter to his past while paying homage to his future. And that's what I see it as. It's really fabulous.
Yeah,
and the product is amazing. I love it. Like he can't get to market fast enough for me.
So one quick question. Somebody asked, maybe you can chime in on this, because I normally drink. I actually prefer my for like a 1920s party. Somebody asked, what is a good whiskey or Scotch cocktail, or actually just overall to recommend? I wouldn't say I like my version of a bull. I can't even pronounce it correctly. Like a whiskey Manhattan. That's yeah.
I cannot say it. I wish I could. I cannot say it. And the whiskey that comes to mind for that is Bryn whiskey. Allison Park's whiskey.
Yes, we were all with yes.
Yeah.
So good with that.
Boulevardier. That's what it is.
Boulevardier. Yes.
I have to remember Boulevard, but
Boulevardier.
nicer.
Okay. No, definitely.
Yes.
The Rusty Nail's good too.
Yes. And I think
if you want a recipe or anything, just send us a DM and we'll send it over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was oh my gosh, I can't remember the cocktail. There was like this really beautiful tobacco leaf whiskey cocktail that I had somewhere in Little Havana.
Tobacco leaf?
Yeah, it had a tobacco leaf in it.
That sounds fabulous.
Oh, it was. It was so good.
Oh my
God. It was so good. And I need to find it again. Because it was amazing. It stuck with me. I had it last year.
Was it an outdoor bar or a place we can sit outdoor?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we could go there. We'll make
I want to say it was at the Ball and Chain, but I could be wrong because it was a couple of years ago. But I think it was at the Ball and Chain.
It might have been. They're amazing. I love it. I have so much fun there. But yeah, so I don't want to. I think we have time for one more question, and then I'll do my question just in case because people were texting me. So to buy Bhakta 50, go to bhaktabrandy.com, and you can DM me because I have the access code for it. Send me a message, and I'll give you not only the perks of getting it through my code isn't just for saying that you got it through the Scotch, it's more like you'll be part of the Revivalist Society. There's gonna be benefits like going to exclusive events, just different marketings, being the first to know about what's gonna happen after those 38 barrels, those types of benefits, and just being in the loop and part of that team.
I am so looking forward to when he comes down and throws a party. And I really hope he throws a Great Gatsby party for this because it is so deserving of it.
So, he has a farm in Vero Beach, Florida.
I know, I want to go.
Yes.
I want to
go. Well, I have to give you details. I don't want to give too much away.
I know. You just DM me.
Yeah, exactly.
You just DM me and let me know.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a secret society, pretty much. Yes, Angry Asian Jeff. He's that name is like a fake. He's not so angry. But yeah. So do you want to ask me because this will cut off at the hour limit?
I think I got most of my questions in there, except for So is he gonna stick with Isla Cask, or does he think he'll branch out into maybe some from Speyside or Campbelltown?
I think that right now, I think that they're all going to be for these 38. Yes, they're going to be Isla cast. But yeah, let me pop in some of these questions that some people did pop in. This was my favorite one so far. Did you know that the Scotch girl at Mossy Muse are super amazing people? Oh, thank you, Jazz. I
Thank
didn't
you,
know
Jazz.
that.
Thank you, Jazz. We love you.
He's
Love
the
all
best.
your videos.
He's the best. I love Jazz.
She's so awesome.
So Mike, is barrel one sold out? Yes. So it's interesting, because just the demand was so high that there was a lot more people that made reservations for the bottle before it actually was out of the market, and then it was really like first come first serve of whoever after they got the access email. Even though they wanted to reserve a bottle, if they didn't purchase it immediately, it might have been sold out. So if you got one, good. Or like me, if you got one without knowing and opened it.
Or if you were like me, just, constantly stalking, looking.
I know. And one thing is that, so you brought up a good point. So Brynn did order her bottle, like I think 3 weeks ago or a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're taking a little bit, I guess, longer than the norm that most people are used to, and receiving a bottle. It's a brand new set of bottles ever that they're sending out. So there's some, kinks that they're, working with the distribution in Zacky's. So, but within the barrel one should go out within the next 2 weeks, and then the last barrel 2 is towards the end of August.
Yes.
So yeah. Yay! So yeah, so what do you got going on for the rest of the night?
For me, I think I'm gonna go give myself some self-love. Probably I'm probably gonna have a little spa night in my bathroom.
Oh, you deserve it. Because I can imagine. Besides doing your hair, you probably were like busy, or was it? For me, getting my hair done is stressful, so I don't like being busy.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's done for me because it doesn't help that my uncle growing up owned a hair salon.
Oh.
So I know way too much. And for me, every time I go in, I'm just like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And I love my hairstylist, Mari. And every time I go in, I end up talking whiskey with her because her husband loves whiskey. So they're going to come to one of our events when we all get together. So we'll have some new people. I've just been like meeting to meeting, talking with people. I'm trying to write another blog ironically, about brandy, cognac, and Armagnac.
Nice.
So the timing is perfect.
Yes.
So
well,
now
this one's like, does it fall in there? Where does it fall? We'll find out.
Oh my God, I know. And, my husband was laughing about that because I've been peppering him with questions for the last couple of weeks, and he's like, "Why do you care?" He's like, "You don't even like it." I was like, "I'm starting to." I was like, "You can thank God for that. I'm starting to."
That's awesome. So Vince is a big brandy Armagnac drinker.
Yes. He will talk your head off. He's a nerd. When it comes to that, he's a nerd.
I know very little about it. I have to diversify my spirits. I just got the reminder that we have less than 2 minutes. Okay. I'm sorry. I've never seen this before.
I have another cat. This is my eldest. She's my eldest.
Beautiful. Ginger, let me see if I can get Ginger before the time runs out. Come on. Oh, she's here. The flamingo.
I love the flamingo. I've been staring at it the whole time. I'm like, where'd she get that? I need that for my patio.
I think this is from Home Depot, actually. And I want to make it to coincide with kind of like Miami, Art Deco. I don't know, the vibe that this bottle gives me.
It does. It really does. I don't think he intended it for it, but it just screams Miami.
It sure does, yeah.
Screams Miami.
Yeah.
It's so elegant and so classy.
Yep. And thank you so much, Brynn. And I hope you relax tonight, and you deserve it. And thank you. I appreciate so much your time.
Thank you. It's been a joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.